Good afternoon. Welcome to the May 7th meeting of the Rotary Club of Milledgeville. Please silence your phones as you stand, and Nelson Kraft comes forward and stands in for our Rotary of the day.
Please pray with me. Father God, we love you. We just have so much to be thankful for in this club and in our community. And we give you all that thanks. And we just ask that you continue to watch over us as we do our work for you. And we drive this drive this community in a direction towards you. We love you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. The pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And the four-way test and the things we think, say, or do. First,
Is it true?
Second,
Is it fair to all concerned?
third,
Will it build goodwill and better friendships?
and fourth,
Will it be beneficial to all concerned? And fifth, is it fun? All right. Thank you, Nelson. Please remember the CART fund as you're seated there. And we had a really big pot last week of $81. But I do understand we included the match in that. So can I get two to do a $20 match for me? Greg Tyson and Bill Jones. Oh, three. And we've got Nolan Stevens back there too. All right. Thank y'all very much. Jack.
Yeah, on your tables, we have ballots for the Rotarian of the Year and Rookie of the Year. For those that email me your vote, you don't need to fill it out. For those that haven't, it's important that you fill out those ballots. We'd really appreciate it. For Rookie of the Year, the people who are up, the members of club for 18 months or less, they are Link Boyer, Billy Bob Reed, and Michelle Dixon, Frederick Ellington, Sky, yes, Steve Greer, Jason Ronner, or Thomas Kristen Villery. So please fill out your ballots. Just leave them on the table. I'll get them after lunch. Thank you.
All right. Anybody else? Any other announcements? Okay. All right, Greg.
unless I missed something, if you don't have any guests, does anybody have a guest to introduce? Okay. All right. Don't forget the note on the newsletter, if you would, to submit the names of some charities that you think are worthy here in Milledgeville, Baldwin County. The club is on the brink of making some nice donations, but we need a list from you so we can whittle it down and decide what we need to do. So send that to either Jen, and I think her email is on the letter, or to myself, and we'll compile that. Okay, we're going to have a drawing today. We're going to get Erin to draw. She's up front with that pretty orange top on. Okay, number ending at 228. 228. Who we got? Link's here. Link.
Welcome back.
All right, here's $10 for playing. Pick the card. Looking for the Queen of Hearts. We got the something of 4 diamonds. All right, thank you.
All right. Okay. Thank you. We don't have any other announcements. Erin, you want to come up and introduce our guest speaker?
I do have one announcement. I didn't think about it when Tom asked, but next week is club assembly. If you were here for the last club assembly last month, remember we talked about the donations. Greg was talking about, Jennifer proposed a plan to donate the money. And so I think we're going to vote on who we want to donate to next month. Don't know if final decisions would be made, but if you're interested in giving your input, please be here. If you can't be here, let Jennifer or me, Jack, or someone know. All right, so I have had the pleasure of getting to know Steve Bell. I've seen him, I saw him at conference last weekend at district conference. I met him at PETS maybe. So real neat fella. I've enjoyed getting to know him. He runs the Beer Fest in Macon. So he's gonna talk to us about the Beer Fest. He's a Rotarian in Macon, downtown Macon Club. But best of all, he went to high school with Keith Barlow and has promised stories and photos. That's what I'm excited about.
You said his name, I was like, oh my God.
Well, thank y'all for letting me come and visit you. And I have to say too, that I grew up next door to Greg Tyson. So it's, this is just family now. And Rotary is just family always. You guys have a great looking club, by the way. And I would say if Aaron doesn't brag, you need to go to a conference, because conference is a lot of fun. Aaron's putting on the next conference, so I know you're going to support her. I just told her that y'all also need to get a GRSP student. That's fun. But yeah, Keith and I, we spent a little time together. Keith playing saxophone, me playing trombone in the band, you know, heading up down the road for junior civitans. Here we are still doing civic good. Both of us doing marketing, me buying ads from him and him taking my money. So good guy. He is a super guy. So ladies, I know that y'all suffer a lot of indignities by all the doctors you have to go to. So you'll just have to bear with me for a moment. So when I was probably about 35, I had 2 small children. And knowing my family history, I thought, you know what? I need to start going and having a physical. So I go to the doctor, I have my physical. The doctor gets to the end of it, he goes, well, all we have left is your prostate exam. I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, it's a rite of passage. And I said, 1, it's not right. 2, it's the wrong passage. And for y'all, 3, it was not fair to all concerned. So let's see if I can do this here. So today I kind of want to talk about, you know, there's 7 areas of focus in Rotary, and the one I want to talk to you today about is disease prevention and treatment. And so we know that men are not stubborn when it comes to their health or going to the doctor, right? I like that. Thousands of men will die this year, and they're like, no, we won't. So that's what we hope to do. So what I really do is I put a health fair on disguised as a beer festival. I had to stop marketing our beer festival, especially even in my club, and say our health fair. We do a health fair. So what happened when a few years down the road, I'm having my physical, the doctor says, oh, all we need to do is your prostate exam. I say, you know what? I'm good. I'm good. My PSA level, my blood test is low. I'm good. They called me up and said, you jinxed it. My PSA had gone from a 2 to a 4 in 1 year. It's called a PSA velocity. So I had to do a follow-up, had to go to a urologist, had to have a biopsy. I had cancer, they tell me. Half of my samples had cancer. So, you know, if you've ever been told you have cancer, your brain splits into 2. One, you're listening to the doctor, and the other one, you're having an internal dialogue with yourself. So I ended up having to have a prostatectomy, have my prostate removed by a robot, one of the first ones there in Macon. And because my diagnosis and my age, I was only 42. Well, I was supposed to have prostate cancer at 42. It seemed awful young from, you know, what we know. And so they said, no, for you, remove it. Don't think about it for 40 years. So my doctor wanted me to go to a support group he was starting. I didn't want to go to this. I didn't want to talk about this with anybody. But then when I sat in a room with different gentlemen, different ages, and I was definitely the youngest one, I found out that they were uneducated about the disease, uneducated about their treatment, and so on. So this year, about 36,000 men will die in the US. And I've got some trivia giveaways we'll do here. So can anybody tell me 1 out of how many men will get prostate cancer? Who said that? What? 5? Pretty close. 1 out of 6. Yeah. So here's some swag from the beer fest. I had to make sure I don't say swag. My wife said it means weed and cannabis, and I don't want y'all to get too excited about what I'm giving out. So I started the beer fest, and I went to my club. I'd only been in Rotary for a year. Read about a gentleman who also an ad agency in his 40s, found out he had prostate cancer, and he started an organization called Pints for Prostates. National nonprofit out of Charlotte. And we donate money to that national nonprofit now, and they help us with what we do. So in Georgia, Georgia is 4th in the number of cases nationally for prostate cancer. A lot of people don't know, but prostate cancer cases surpassing breast cancer. Don't really talk that much about prostate cancer. Same kind of hormonal disease like breast cancer, right? So this is my health fair, right? So you guys want to attract ants to your picnic? Put a little sugar out. You want to attract men to a health fair? Beer. So our goal is to educate the community and men about prostate cancer and the need for early screenings. Here's some more of our lovely attendees enjoying the event. And so here's another trivia question. What age should men start to have like a PSA screen? 35. Could be. 40 is typical, but if you have family history, as early as 30. If you have a father that had prostate cancer, you're 5 times more likely to have prostate cancer. If you're African American, you're 5 times more likely to have prostate cancer. You went to Vietnam, you're 5 times more likely. If you had a brother and a dad, you're 10 times more likely to have it. So just be diligent in your screenings. So this is what we do at our health fair. We give away free blood tests at the event. We have urologists at our event. We have oncologists. We have pharmacological companies there. Any type of medical, anything that we can think of that we can incorporate, we do in this health fair. The test that we give away is a free $700 test. So we test a PSA, testosterone, cholesterol, triglycerides, glucose, HDL, and LDL. That's a free test. People that want to have that test do not have to pay to come to our beer fest. Anybody could walk up, any gentleman can walk up and we'll test them. Last October, we tested 100 guys. That was the most we've ever tested. The average age was 47. And we have, again, guys running the gamut. This is some of just the stats from these tests. 17 abnormal PSAs over 1.5. That's really low, but that really means it could have an infection, they could have an enlarged prostate. But then when those numbers get up, but you see, I think especially number 2 abnormal over 4. Something's probably up with that guy. Maybe we just saved 2 guys' life. I don't know. That's what we hope to do. I've had a guy come and be tested, and he said that's the first medical, anything he said done in 26 years, and it was free. So 5 abnormal testosterone, abnormal cholesterol, 59 abnormal triglyceride levels. I tell my club that's because of the fried chicken that we eat every Wednesday. Looks like y'all do too. Abnormal glucose levels, HDL levels, that's the good cholesterol, and the LDL. We gave away $70,000 in free tests at our health fair that is disguised as a beer festival. How do we also get the guys to go do it? We created a fast pass. If you've ever been to Disney, you know what a fast pass is. So if a gentleman will go get tested, we give him 3 fast passes and he can go the head of any line. So when there's a line of people trying to get a certain beer and he walks up and they're going, what are you doing? He goes, I got a fast pass. They can talk about why, how they got that fast pass. So we also have some fun besides our health fair. So we start off with a road race. Usually you can see those like little beer bottle can openers as their medals. We're looking to expand that. We have food trucks. We have arts and craft vendors. We have bands. We have 2 stages, 4 bands typically playing. Let's see what else we got here. Now this is a very important race that you all can take part of. This is called the beer run. You ever did a beer run in college? Had it run out of beer? So this beer run, there are 2. You can do it individually or you can do a team of 4. I see a team over here, team over here. What you have to do, this is probably the relay one. They have to drink a beer. It has to be at least 5% alcohol. They have to run a quarter mile, come back and tag the next guy until they run a mile. All right? Sounds like fun. And unless you're this guy. That's when it becomes fun, is when you're on the sidelines going, he's not going to make it. I'm going to go back. You see these girls right here? You can't see their poster, but I remember it. They were there cheering on their dad who was running, and had a little Yoda on their poster, and it said, I think, puke you will. Puke you will. We are a very family-friendly event. We're an open-air festival, so anybody can come. You only have to buy a ticket if you're going to drink. Some of our attendees, I love this guy who also dressed up in his Bavarian dress with the other 2 girls. We're getting a lot of guys in kilts now. That was a whole team, I think, from Augusta, Georgia. We sell a lot of t-shirts and hats and things like that. So another trivia question. How many ounces of beer and wine do you think we serve at this event? How much? Oh, ounces. Come on, throw a name out.
132,000.
A little lower than that. Lower than that.
20,000.
Higher. Higher.
40,000.
Higher. Higher.
178,000.
Lower. 125. Yes. So 125,000 ounces of beer and wine. All our attendees get that, I don't know if you saw, this little 4-ounce cup. It's in her hands, little 4-ounce cup. And people go, that's all the beer you give me? If you had 1 4-ounce of every variety of beer, we have over 100 varieties of beer and wine. I think that equates to about 13 full beers in a 4-hour period. You can't do it. It's unlimited pours. So if you like a particular beer, you can just keep going and getting it until it runs out. So this is a Rotary event. This is put on by the Rotary Club of Downtown Macon. We do have Rotarians from all the clubs in Macon come out and help us. This event takes over 200 volunteers. And what I really love is I have all these nonprofits that come and pour. So that's what you do as a volunteer. You pour 4 ounces. We give each volunteer a free ticket. So you can work a shift and then go enjoy the festival. So I may have the Alzheimer's Association, which we do. They'll be pouring with their shirts on. I don't care if they can promote. Anybody can promote. We'll have restaurants do the same thing. Ed Davis, Aaron will meet Ed a lot in district. Tom, these are some of our Rotarians. And that's pouring beer. If you guys can do that, you can put beer in a glass, come help us. And you can drink what you pour. You said having fun, right? That's what we like to do. We do good work, but we like to have fun. Survivors. You know, I've met many guys at our festival that are in their 30s that have prostate cancer. It's not an old man's disease. So I want people to kind of know that. Another trivia question. Who knows the oldest brewery in the United States? No? I thought I might have heard it over there, but I'm not certain. No, it's not McSorley's. I do love McSorley's. It is Yingling. Who said that? Yeah, Yingling is the oldest brewery. And typically we have at least about 50% or so Georgia craft breweries, as well as some national breweries and some international breweries. Our 5K that we do, there's beer at the end of that 5K. And so we had a German Radler, which was 2% alcohol, and it tasted like lemonade. That was the favorite beer of the year. But again, thank y'all for having me. Cheers to being Rotarian. Love for y'all to come help us or just come enjoy. But if you have some questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
When is it?
That's a good question. Good question. October the 22nd. We used to have it in August. This is our 12th year. There's no Georgia game, guys. There's no Georgia game. Deep Roots, well, we got to change that. They got to change that. But yes, October 22nd. The event runs from 3 to 7. There's also, you should know, is that tickets are $35. That's unlimited. There's unlimited pours of whatever you want to drink, beer or wine. There's a VIP ticket, which is a little bit more, but that gets you food and some swag and things like that. And they get an hour early entry into the festival. But we used to have it in August, hottest day ever for several years because we were leading into September, which was Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. And when we had an opening to take October, we took it. Where's it located? Another great question, right? Smack in downtown Macon. So when I did the very first one, we had 16 beers and 200 people. Now we have over 100 varieties of beer and about 3,000 ticket holders. And it's right downtown. So we drop, the Downtown Rotary Club drops a lot of people downtown that put cash in all those businesses downtown. We give $5,000 to Pints for prostates. We do the $70,000 right now of free test, and then whatever money I have left over, we use for community grants.
What's the time?
The time, it runs from 3 to 7. You should be able to drink enough beer in that time. The 5K has always been that morning, and now we're trying to look at, do we need to make it a 10K or a half marathon to attract people from outside? I didn't put the map in, but only 34% of the attendees come from Macon. The rest come from all over. And we have dots all over the United States and from out of other countries of people who come. And actually, Macon has a sister city in France, Macon, France. Their whole delegation's coming to this beer festival. And Rotarians, I think from the Stockholm in Sweden, they're coming as well.
Will you send this club a reminder?
I'll invite all of you guys. You can just give me your phone numbers. Yeah, no. We on our website too, if you want to promote as Rotarians, we always have a volunteer sheet so people can sign a Google Doc and it'll go right to our volunteer coordinator. But yes, absolutely.
So you say you have 200 volunteers?
Over 200 volunteers, and we probably have about, let's say 80 of those are Rotarians, and the rest are just average Joes.
But there are 3 Rotary clubs.
There are 3 Rotary clubs. There's the Macon Rotary Club, which I call the old Macon Money Club. There's the Downtown Rotary Club, which is my club, which I call the Fun Club. And then there is the Thursday Club that we kind of spawned out, and that's a younger club, maybe about 10 years. And so yeah, we all help, and we have some other service projects we all work together on as well. And also those other volunteers, we say they're all Rotarians that day. Everybody's and so we try to also use it as a recruitment tool to say, oh, we're the club that puts on the beer fest. Young people, you want to be part of a beer fest, try to use that.
So you said you'll do the blood test. Is that those tests? I mean, is that tests that emailed to you or is that?
Yeah. So what happens is we work locally for the blood draws. Health department or the hospital does the blood draws. We have another nonprofit called Prostate Cancer Prostate Education Council. Through Pints for Prostates, they send all the testing kits. When the blood is drawn, it's spun, it's sent back to that nonprofit. They read, they send the results to that individual. If there's something suspect, then they're told to follow up with their general practitioner or their urologist.
And what other, you said you had some other healthcare screenings, providers, or whatever.
Well, like last year, because we skipped a year because of COVID. We dipped our toe back in last year. Last year, we also provided vaccines at the event as well. But then, like I said, our sponsors, if they want a table or tent, you know, they can talk about their companies. But the more medical we like. So, anything you want to know about Keith or Greg while I'm here too?
I know somebody you might be related to.
Oh, geez.
Sherry Frank.
And I'm sorry that, yes, so my sister lives here in Milledgeville. She came in to give me a hug because she said she couldn't pass seeing me. But I said, you need to join Rotary. So y'all get on her because she'll talk your ear off, but she's a good person. She's a good person. How do you know my sister?
As a matter of fact, she sent me an email and said, my brother's gonna be at Rotary on May the 5th.
Okay.
And so, anyway, I've known her a good while.
She's a good marketer for me.
Pretty involved in Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah, I remember she used to tell, there used to be a wreath auction that y'all did in the chamber. She used to love that. Yeah, she needs to put her energy somewhere else. I mean, not the chamber, I mean, in the Rotary. She needs something. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Forms to sign our newly revived Jill's Book program. So there's a place here for you to sign, and this goes into the Jill's Book collection at the library. And hold on,
I'm just
not that pen. You get to pick a pen here. This is yours to keep.
Oh,
Our treasurer, Greg Blakely, back there makes these for the club.
Greg, these are
That's
awesome.
our speaker's gift. So
Man, y'all are for sure. I'm put sign right here. Okay.
Check with the book too.
Did you want to tell me how much? Because I'm telling you, Greg and Keith both got my back on that, so they'll put a check in for you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
thanks a lot. And with that, everyone have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next week.